Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to Tyrant's Realm. It is a Souls-like roguelite that came out back in February and got a DLC very recently, I think only a couple of weeks ago. I just didn't get around to covering it because I think I was on vacation. I was busy, I forget exactly what the deal was. But I recorded a video on a game called Cursemark yesterday, and in that, somebody had left a comment, Jeff Polk had left a comment, saying that, like, yeah, there aren't a whole lot of Souls-like roguelites that are good, but they've been playing Tyrant's Realm a bunch, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to play that, so I'm gonna play that. Thanks for that comment. I'm a sucker for Souls-likes, but I find them kind of exhausting in a lot of ways. Too reflex-heavy, too fast. Interesting, so look around. Heavy attack, light attack, roll run, block parry. Target lock, map pause. Alright. Okay, that's kind of a wobbly camera with a lock on. Interesting. Oh, it won't let me out until after we've cleared this tutorial. And that's okay. I'm really digging this aesthetic. It's kind of that... Okay, raise shield, block incoming attacks. Oh. Guess I didn't block enough of them. Ow. At least I don't take damage in here. Feels like there's some input delay on that. Okay, use what you've learned to defeat the prisoner. Now, it doesn't seem like there's a... I know there's a parry, but I don't know how to do it. I use a healing flask. Alright. Anything more? No, just a lot of prisoners. Hopefully we only have to do this once. We'll see. Oh. Parrying is not my strong suit, to be honest. Because it's like... right before, but there's no good feedback, and also these guys have long wind-up, which is tricky. I'm much more of a fan of the, like, I'm gonna say Bloodborne parry, where you see them winding up for the attack, and you hit them with the parry. And so it's much more like, oh yeah, I know exactly when to do this. Here, I just, like, I'm getting the block, but kind of too late on some of these. It's fine. So, execute a stun enemy. I especially have trouble with the really long charge. Like, I'll make it work. Eventually. But yeah, too soon. Too soon. It is such a small parry window. There we go. And so it's like, it's worth it, but this is why I don't like parrying systems. I'm sure I could master it eventually, but it's still a pain in the ass. Okay, destroy barrels by attacking or rolling. Guess I should probably just roll through them. I don't know if we have to worry about durability, and then we also have chests. Activate skull altars. Gain power until death. But I want to open the chest, thank you. Whatever. Okay, humility. Increase max health. Oh. So, green equipment, extra damage. I guess I'm gonna go humility. That gives me a little bit more damage. Open chest, find weapons and armor. Alright. So, I see. So if I swap equipped with a throwing axe. So, sure. Activate armor ability when available. And that roll has such a late window. Alright. I'll make it work. I'm not used to input delays being this rough. But I guess means they want this to be more methodical. This is gonna mess with me. There we go. Close enough. Collect blueprints from enemies to unlock new weapons to the merchant. Alright. Bring blueprints to the merchant, be able to buy weapons and armor. Prison guard sword, I have 30 coins. Okay, might as well swap it, it's just vastly superior. Wish I could sell my old gear, but it's fine. Finish your health, or your healing flasks at the flask station. Does it give me one or all of them? Looks like it was all of them and heals me, good. So we don't have to worry about efficiency. And we're dead. Or at least we're done with the tutorial. Okay, let's see if I can actually do all of this one. I like this aesthetic. I saw somebody talking about, oddly enough... Uh-oh. Actually gonna go back in here. I'm gonna have to fight two guys. I might as well... That is a really awkward roll, but that's okay. We found a blueprint for a farming scythe. I'm super glad the other guy didn't come for me. So? Yeah, so they must have a line of sight system that I can kind of exploit here. And yeah, unfortunately for me... Like, circle strafing around an enemy is good, but rolling to the side... They spin extremely easily. So I'm gonna have to kind of plan around that. Well, let's see what you have for me. So red equipment, green equipment, yellow equipment. We did get the farmer's scythe. So let's go red. And see what we can get out of it. Let's see. What was I going to talk about? Unfortunately, it's one of those where game hasn't given me a moment to rest up until now. And so it's breaking my brain a little bit on commentary, but it's okay. Alright, so I see a guy in here. Looks like just a guy. It seems most practical for me to just use circle strafing, rather than trying to do more. Because everything else just poses an existential risk to me. Oh, we get an iron straight sword right off the bat. That's nice. Could have actually gone for the green upgrade, but whatever. How was I supposed to know? Okay. Oh, we didn't actually pick up the money here. I was going to talk about the textures and the visuals a little bit. So it's very PS1 adjacent. But I kind of dig that. It's how I remember PS1 games looking. Having gone back to play some PS1 games, they actually do still look pretty good. Just not nearly as high definition as this one. But I saw people were talking about an interview with an old, like, developer for PS1 games. Talking about how, like, we tried so hard to get away from, like, pixel textures and warping and all these other things, and, you know, now you have all these people kind of going for nostalgia. Trying to mimic those, and it feels weird. What are you doing? And, like, for me, I love this. I actually really like things that look that old. Somewhat as a nostalgia thing. Somewhat as a... somewhat of a nostalgia thing, somewhat of a It's just a nice style. It looks nice. It's clean. Can I get rid of the controls? Hide instructions. Okay, there we go. And exit. Okay, there we go. It was just hanging out behind my character avatar, and it's like, you guys don't need to see that. I don't need to see that. Ooh, tower shield. Passive defense boost. Sure. Okay, what else are we getting here? Yeah, I don't know how many of these breakables give resource, and I'm noticing some of these have spikes. I'm trying to avoid rolling into them specifically. Oh, you can break them. At least from the side. And it doesn't seem to hurt me, so that's good. Okay, do we have anything else around here? Yeah, we've got one of these guys. Did not mean to parry him, but hey, I'll take it. And we should probably Estus. There's really no reason for me to conserve those if I know it's going to heal me. Let's see. But yeah, something about like really high definition games kind of bothers me. I think it's just too much. I kind of like the simplicity of these visuals. It tends to be very clean, if dark. And also just something about pixel art itself charms me. There we go. I keep hearing the people whimpering in the cave. Ooh, hello. Prisoner's Mask versus Knight's Armor. Push enemies away with a shield rush. Oh, and that was like a full armor set. Alright. Don't know what speed gets me. And so the loss of it could be unfortunate, but still. Okay, anything else here? I keep hearing the characters whimpering in the cages, and it kind of sounds like a mosquito to me. Sick. You could be the Turtle Knight from Dark Souls 2. I loved those guys. They were a pain in the ass. But like in a charming way. Ooh, letter opener. So it's faster. It's a lot faster. Sure, I'll give it a shot. I don't know if I'm going to want to stick to it, but still. There we go. I'm not sure if I like the idea of breaking all the boxes and barrels and other breakables just for money. I get why they're there, but it does also feel like it's slowing the game down. But maybe it's fine. Ow. Yeah, I think part of it is R1 spam doesn't work super hot if the enemies don't get stunned by it. So, looks like there is some diminishing returns on some of these things. So I could go for this. Gives me a little bit more damage, block, and defense. Considering I'm using 2 yellow items, sure. It's very, Dead Cells, how they're handling the stat gains here, which I think is fine. I think I wasn't a big fan of the Dead Cells system just because it's arbitrary scaling that doesn't really add much. But maybe it's more useful later. I'm seeing all these doorways, but there's not much to do here. Oh, it's fine. Probably got other exits. That's a fog gate right there, ain't it? Alright, let's see. Do I have anything else? I don't think I've missed any alternate routes, so... Oh, is it a fog gate or is it a new location? Might actually be a new location. So we do have a Northern Crest Shield. Passive defense boost or a stamina regen. I think I'm gonna go with the red for the time being. We can go to the Merchant's Lounge. Ah, buy new things. Hopefully we can get the Farmer's Scythe here. So what else do we have? Open wardrobe. Okay, so that's our only aesthetic. Guess let's talk to him. 200 coins. Oof. So, one of the most commonly used agricultural equipment, intimidating weapon when used against fellow men. So slow, good stamina, good damage. Applies poison effect to weapons. Random starting armor. Oh, this is so Dead Cells. I do actually really like the cultist garments for the poison effect, but I think we're just going to embrace red. And start investing into flask charge increases. View archives so we can see all my different weapons and their lore. We can also view the world map. Ah, yeah. Refill our flasks. Anything else? No. Oh, what is this? The expedition starts from the sea? Interesting. Oh, and you can see all the different weapons that we've unlocked too. Alright. To the torture pit, I suppose. Unless this is a boss fight. Okay. Seems like my best bet for the most part. Is to just take it one at a time. Oh, I thought I got him with a parry. He gets tired every once in a while. And I definitely want that for me. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I can get him with the cool parries. Ow. Sir, please get tired. I wish to hit you a couple of times. There we go. Well, that wasn't too bad. I do appreciate that blocking is actually at least viable at the moment. A lot of Dark Souls just says, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring. Well, I don't know about Elden Ring. At least Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne say no to dodging. Or not dodging, no to blocking, and even no to dodging sometimes is kind of annoying. Here it just seems like, dodging's maybe a little less viable. But that's it. Do I want to unlock the cultist garments? Nah, let's just go for the extra flask. Locked door shortcut. Bypass the torture pit. Oh. I don't mind fighting that boss, though. It wasn't really that hard. So now I can choose between the Forbidden Tomb or the Northern Caverns. Now, I want to say the Forbidden Tomb is actually the DLC that was added, like, recently. So, sure, let's go see what the DLC area looks like. It might kick my ass. Who knows? Alright, anything else for my troubles? A little bit of gold. Yeah, hunting for all the pots just to get the gold is a little time wasty. It's not the end of the world. I guess it's very Zelda, which is kind of worth it. I think the main thing is, like, after a certain point in Zelda, you don't need to collect currency anymore, so you don't need to be constantly breaking things. Whereas in this one, you pretty much want currency for forever. Alright, boyo. Oh! Was not expecting 2. There we go. I'm getting a little bit better at the parry timing. I'll get the hunter's belt, and yeah, let's just heal. Yeah, I should have checked before I entered this room. I didn't see anybody, but that didn't mean there wasn't anybody. Really? Alright. What is this? Woodcutter's axe. So less damage, better stamina, better speed. Oh, you want less stamina? Oh, stamina cost. I gotcha. Okay, well, which room do we check out? Oh, right, I forgot I can also use my special ability. Okay. Into the fire pit? Do they burn? They do not. I'm a little disappointed by that one. I was really hoping knocking them onto the fire pit or some other trap would actually do a lot of damage to them. The fact that it doesn't is a little unfortunate. Rolling and sprinting are stamina free. Oh. Well, that's kind of nice. But I like the stamina regen from the shield, so I'm going to keep it. Okay. I thought we found a... I thought that guy was going to follow me. He was walking with such purpose. He might have noticed me and then just decided against it. That is entirely possible. Okay, anything else in here? Chump change mostly. But I will take it. What was I going to talk about? I don't know. I was lightly talking... Oh, you can just walk into the pots, actually. I was lightly talking about, like, old school aesthetics. Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's more I need to say on that one. It's mostly just a, like, there's a certain charm to old-looking stuff. And a simplicity of it. And probably it also saves developers, like, an immense amount of time. Yeah. So I... shouldn't use the heavy attacks here. I think that would be a mistake. And it looks like it's just this guy. Yeah, luckily a lot of these hits you can kind of sidestep comfortably. Like, it's weird. They don't start, enemies will rotate at you, but there's like a certain point where they stop. Peace Guard. Loot dead enemies for gold. Ooh. Yeah. So less defense, more speed. Holy shit. That's like, no joke, incredibly good. That's only worth like 14, 15 gold, but... especially if we're going for meta progression? Yeah. Okay, I don't think there's anything else. So I missed a coin here. At least it doesn't disappear. That's appreciated. So we might want to think about a different weapon. We do have the woodcutter's axe. The farmer's scythe is just a little on the slow side. No, I should stick with the farmer's scythe. I think at the moment I have all red equipment, and I might as well just own that. Now, there should be 2 in this room. There's the other one. Either there's a cooldown or that body is not a valid loot target. There we go. Yeah, the fact that the dude can just whip around like that is a little rough. But, oh well. What's up, schlub? And unfortunately, you have to wait to charge. Oh, right. I should remember to go back and loot that guy. It's unfortunate that the parry counterattack requires you to have a full meter charge. Where'd he die? Here. There we go. This will give me some meta progression. Guess I can actually use the scythe to break some things. Instead of rolling off a ledge. And take what I can get. It'd be nice if I could just, like, sprint through things. I'd take that as a passive ability any day. We just go real quick and... I mean, works with the pots at least. Really? Rude. Well, that's the exit. So we might as well keep looking around first. There we go. Small amounts of currency, but I do need it. Alright. Anything else here? No. Okay. Spear guy noticed me. I'm hoping the other one didn't. At what? Okay. Best thing I can do is probably just chop him down. And you? There we go. I don't see anybody else in this room. Oh, they can't figure it out, can they? Well, if they can't figure it out, that makes my life easy. And, like, there's still validity in parries. Even if it's a little risky. Or even if it's a little risky, and even if I don't have the full charge going, I can still parry an enemy to give me a window to attack a couple of times. It's just risky to take that damage. I think I will swap this gear for the dude that gets me the axe throw, just because having a ranged attack probably is going to be really helpful. I'm not seeing anything else in here. I was hoping for more, like, interesting mid-run progression. You know, the stat gaining and the equipment, it's nice. But I'm always looking for, like, fun, weird ways to have your characters grow and improve over the course of a run. I don't know, I like the Dead Cells. Do I? No, I don't think I've ever liked the Dead Cells progression system of, like, pick one of 3 stat families, invest in it. I think it makes it kind of easy to min-max, but also it's kind of generic because it's just always, alright, am I going to be red flavored, green flavored? Did I remember to loot that last person? I have no idea. Hunter's Pelts. Yeah, let's go for it. There we go. So, less defense. Oof. Even less defense. That's tough. Like, the ranged attack is good. I don't know. I think I might just leave it for now. Even if we are going into a boss fight where it might be handy. Okay, Resurrection Chambers. Time to fight a pharaoh, I suppose. It's like he's waiting for me to start attacking, which is really annoying. Okay, can I get him with a special? No, I cannot. There we go. I'm just clowning on this guy. There we go. That's what I needed. I was like, man, parrying suck. Oh. Okay, let's wait for my stamina to come back. It's back. There we go. And get 3 hits in. Okay, so I cannot block the magic. Damn it. God, I hate the input delay on the dodge. I don't know if I got it. And I can usually get at least 3 hits in. There we go. Is there another? There is another. Okay. Undying Necropriest. Thank you, camera angle. That's rude. I'm out of juice, too. Okay, so I can roll through that one. It gives me iframes. What am I supposed to do about those? Okay. That went from actually fun to really frustrating, actually. Because, yeah, the extreme input delay on the dodge makes it really difficult to put... Like, it's like a full half-second later. And oftentimes the enemy's, like, pattern, or their, like, attack animation is, like, shorter than the actual input delay on the dodge. Ow. There we go. We get the steel greatsword. I'm trying. I'm kind of succeeding. Yeah, like, getting really good at the parry is nice, but knowing that there's unparryable magic attacks is kind of frustrating. Because they're not, well, they're not blockable and they're hard to dodge too, especially the flying homing skulls. So I think I'm gonna skip that route for this next run. I mean, also want to skip the route just for, you know, variety's sake. We'll have to see what other things we run into. Like, a lot of these things are probably stuff that you actually do learn how to manage. And it's not that bad at all. Really, 3-hit combo. Ow. Let's not die. There we go. Feels like I got my parry, or my parry meter. Feels like I got my parry meter a lot faster. Sorry. Oh, I wonder if I could have looted the boss. I mean, obviously, too late now. It didn't matter. Red wasn't that inspiring, so we're going green this time. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm sure eventually even that boss becomes kind of cakeware clockwork. I think it was mostly just off-put by how many times it kept coming back. Unless it's one of those that there's actually a gimmick to making it so it doesn't come back. Which is entirely possible. I should have thought of that, but it seemed like there wasn't. There, thank you. I only want to fight one of these guys at a time. Not doing my best, but it's fine. Unfortunately, you get in the zone with like one build, and then you start over and it throws off your rhythm. I have this problem with a lot of action roguelikes especially. Like with a turn-based tactics one, it's not so bad. Or like any kind of turn-based, so deck builder, you know, full tactical RPG, turn-based, grid-based, all that jazz. It's not that bad to do 2 runs in a row. But I've had a lot of trouble with certain roguelikes, like the more actiony ones. Ooh. Naginata. Really? Alright. I don't mind that. I mean, it depends on how it works, but still. Okay, there's nobody on the left, so it is just this guy. Good time to Estus. I like the double hit on the charge, though. That's probably going to get me smacked. There isn't much for hit stun in this, I've noticed. And that is slightly problematic. But the damage is good. So it is hard to complain. Okay, definitely boost yellow equipment. There we go. What else was I going to say? I don't know, it's one of those where the whole game breaks my brain just a little bit. I will grab this for the stamina regen. Especially since the basic shield is not very good. Have I missed any alternate routes? I gotta go back and double check. And it is one of those... Wait, no, it does actually matter. Okay, we've been that direction. It doesn't seem like there's really that much. For variety's sake. And this is where I started. Okay. Like a barrel. Barrel. The axe toss does not regen that fast. So it's not something I should probably rely on as like a DPS item. Oop, well, barrel. Nothing. I don't know how much it's like worth. Oh, right, I was talking about like action roguelikes and how it resets my brain. That I'll get used to a combo, timing, or other such abilities. Brass knuckles. Interesting. And then have to forcibly unlearn it. For the sake of... like, unlearn it on a subsequent run. Retaliation shield. I think that's part of it, is that I'm probably going to be kind of bad until I've unlocked a bunch of other gear and equipment to make my life easier. There we go. What's a good example on this? I'd say Hades is an easy one. Rolling and stamina. Or rolling and sprinting are stamina free. I don't know how much I care. The retaliation shield sounds good, but I'm gonna have to actually get enough gold to pay for it, which could be tricky. But yeah, Hades, I would get used to, like, certain boosts, dodges, reflection, and whatnot. And then I'd do another run, and I wouldn't have those, but I'd still be in the mental state where I did. So usually what happens when I play action roguelikes is I don't do more than one run at a time to give myself that, like, mental leeway, brain space, to kind of reset between runs. I think I also get really impatient. You know, if I'm having a really good run and then I lose, and I get kicked back to the very beginning, there's kind of that frustration of, like, wanting to get back to where I was, whereas with a turn-based game, you can't really be that impatient. It doesn't work. Let's see. Extra damage after a parry. Sadly, too expensive for me to get right now, and also not, like, so good that I need it. Alright, time for the Torture of Pit again. Not that this guy was particularly hard. Kind of. Oh good, I can skip it. Okay, almost ran out of juice there. Yeah, that heavy attack knocks him low. Like, often. Like, damn. That wasn't even effort. That was just Cake Town. You had a bad day. Alright. Let's see. This way to the merchant. Yeah, skip the first boss fight. Why would I ever? That's easy currency. And I have nothing else. So this time, we're gonna go this direction, to the Northern Caverns. Yeah, so I definitely want to get a different suit of armor if I could. I could have actually gotten the cultist garb to add poison to my attacks. That might have been good. But I think that works better on a fast, quick attacking, like, mobile build. Okay. Shanky here is the problem. You eat fish? No, you don't. Oval cross shield. There's a lot of different gear and equipment in here. I can imagine... This is something I ran afoul of in Dead Cells as well. And I'm probably going to be comparing this game to Dead Cells incessantly here. I'd apologize, but it invites that comparison. Please give me armor. It did. Commander's armor. Stomp the ground, deal damage around. Cool. And hella defense, which we desperately need. But one problem I ran into with Dead Cells that I didn't like... Ow, what? Bear Killer's axe. Alright. There's another guy down there. He's coming for me. Luckily, he didn't notice me earlier. Eat your fish, sir. The one thing I didn't like about, you. Alright. That's rude. Going for yellow. Only stat I get is not yellow. Nagadana for a iron straight sword. Surprisingly more damage? Sure. I guess I'll be boring. Classic Nightman. Yeah, in Dead Cells, there's a lot of, like, kind of dumb, I'm gonna say jokish weapons. Sorry, V, I know there are no bad weapons in Dark Souls. Did I forget to refill my Estises? Twice? I'm a fool. Like I said, I get impatient. Okay. Losing the lock on like that is a little rough, but it's okay. And yeah, taking all that damage is not fun. Didn't kill him. Freaked out a bit, but didn't kill him. Okay, passive defense boost. Sure. Thief's Garb. I wonder how far enemies will chase me. Hopefully not very. Okay, yeah, that does a decent amount of damage. Damn it. Yeah, don't have much health to sacrifice here. Camera angle's not working with me. It's doing one of those where it's getting hung up on the terrain or bouncing over the terrain, and it like jumps up and down a little bit. Camera angles are tricky. As the one thing, I would say Dark Souls has always done immeasurably well. Let's keep going green, a little bit more damage, a little bit more health to make up for the fact that I've squandered so much of it. At least there's the exit. So unless there's a bad lad hanging out in here, we're actually good and I can get the heal. Nope. I think we've seen everything too. Yeah, and I'm gonna keep going for the extra flask charge. Ah, it's so close too. Alright, well, let's not make a mistake. We're full health, going into this, everything is fine. Don't worry about prior mistakes. Arena of Glory. Let's see how this goes. I'm just a round lad. And he's an elephant. Okay, so he's gonna soften me up. I see. Yeah, I don't want to lock onto most of these guys. There's one down. At least I can two-shot them. Or kind of two-shot them. Okay, and then there was one. There we go. Didn't take too much. And it is time for the disgraced chieftain. Ow. Don't know how I'm gonna parry that exactly. Maybe I don't need to. Who can play at that game? Ow, that was barely anything. Okay. Good time for a heal. Ow. Is he gonna do the... Nope. Yeah, this is just a slow fight. Can you not sprint while he's while you're locked on? That's awkward. Final hit? Alright. Oh, that was it. That was much easier than the last one. Last guy just kept coming back. We still had a Aestus flask left. Alright, let's hopefully get another flask charge increase. And then 27 coins, what do we invest into? What does this one do? Seems okay. More flask charge increase, locked door shortcut. Shortcuts, just gonna go for that one. And refill my flask. Cannot forget that. So, we have the Royal Hunting Grounds, or the dreaded Gauntlet. I like gauntlets. Now, there usually isn't good stuff in there. Okay, there's one. So those spike traps do trigger, and they do hurt. Oh, and they trigger off of me, too. That's slightly unfortunate. There we go. I've gotten nearly as many parries on this one as I would like. Are we alone in here? We are alone in here. Okay. Boost my damage, boost my defense. Probably defense and health. Ideally, I'd like to be hale and hardy enough to avoid taking too much. So even if there's nothing in the area, those traps will still hit me. That's rude. Oh, that's a buckler on the ground. Got worried for a second. This area's actually kind of mean. So, I guess at this point I can kind of start talking impressions. Okay, got that guy there. Okay, we've just got two of them. Whoops. So, I like this mechanically, for the most part. I do find the extremely slow roll to be kind of frustrating. Damage and defense. Both are good. I guess let's go for that. Really? Yeah, so the enemies don't set off any of the traps. That's slightly rude. At least I got 4 Estus to get me through this. Shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I like most of the combat. I wish the input delay on the dodge was slightly less, just because you really have to know what an enemy is doing before you hit the dodge, because if you dodge to the side, they just rotate to hit you. If they've got a short... If they've got a short, like, wind-up time, they just hit you anyway. And it doesn't go very far either, so it's kind of difficult to get out of the way with it. And so it's one of those where it's like, I don't necessarily hate the idea of and the intentionality of, like, a much slower system. There we go. Giant fish hooks. Fun. But I do find the execution to be a little on the frustrating side. Not so super bad, just it's there. So, shield rush. Functionally the same. The main thing on the knight's armor is it's the shield rush versus the stomp. I think I'd rather have the stomp for this. I could go full green. Switch out the commander's armor, switch out the tower shield. But no, I think I want to be as tanky as I can possibly get. I do really wish you could sneak up on enemies better. Like, the moment I get within range of them, they freak out. I keep wanting to go for, like, a backstab or a anything, but I pretty much have to piss them off. Okay, good. There we go. At least the traps will hit him if given the opportunity. Farmer's Scythe, we want nothing to do with it. I do find the level design is kind of okay. I mean, it is a roguelike. I wouldn't expect the world from it. But one thing I find to be kind of pivotal about a good Souls-like is good level design. And, like, this is fine. Neither here nor there, it's mostly just a series of rooms with 1 to 2 enemies in it, over and over and over again. And I think that works well enough for what this is trying to do. But it loses some of that kind of, like, Souls-like flair by having it be so rigid. On the flip side, you know, having seen what Necropolis tried to do, and failing miserably, I think it's fine. Sometimes it's totally okay to be constrained. Let's see. Play Roguevania at some point. I don't think this is going to have an enemy. Oh, it does have an enemy in it, too. Okay, he's noticed me. You will die like your fellows. In the spike pit. Oh, wow, that got him quick, actually. Go get the other one. Who needs to fight, right? There we go. Did like a weird, like, blorp as he died. That's strange. I thought I was done, but the answer is nope, we're still going. Let's see, what was I gonna say? I see a lad. And these guys I can kill. I mean, I can kill the spear guys without too much trouble either. Does seem like the levels get longer over time. That's okay too. I do find the repetition of the enemies maybe a little slow. Or holding the game back a little bit, seeing as, you know, just run into the same enemies over and over and over again. I think that's... Oh, right, I was going to talk about wanting, like, a proper Roguevania. I'm going to wait here. They'll notice me eventually. I'm not actually sure if there's a reason for me to go into this room. Well, I guess I'll find out. Hell of a lot of barrels at the very least. Yeah, proper Roguevania where you get kicked back to the beginning at the end of every run, but you get stronger every single time. And so it's more about finding the route. Actually, this game exists, and I forget the name of it. I did like a full series on it, too. Even if I think I cheesed my way through the ending. Okay, this should be the exit, or no, this is not. The other way. Yeah, loot dead enemies for gold. I mean, if I was really persistent, I could throw that on, go back and loot everybody on the level. But I think I'll pass. It's not quite worth my time. Let's see. Anything else here? Nope. It wasn't Vigil, it was Dark something. I don't remember, there's way too many freaking games. Do we want to try something different, like the giant fish hooks? Their damage is low, though. Could also get the retaliation shield. But I think it's probably better that I just keep putting it into stuff like random starting weapon. Because having that will give me a bonus. I didn't actually use too many of my flasks there, which is good. The thing I was going to say about the stat investments, you know, the green, red, yellow pulled from dead cells. The problem I run into with that one mostly boils down to you could just have everything be flat, get rid of the leveling, and it wouldn't make a single difference. Like me putting more points into green, all that does is it just pigeonholes me into green equipment and abilities. Well, that's rude. So we've got a rogue fish boy. Can't block those either. And so, like, you could just as easily get rid of the kind of level scaling system and the game actually wouldn't suffer for it at all. And I had the same problem with dead cells for the most part. There was the random stats and effects on the gear and equipment that actually made them more interesting. Lord's Blade. Oh, there's the exit. But I think it's time to fight the fish boy. Well, I'd like to lock in on Fishman. Thank you. One other small criticism I'm running into here. I'd swear I would have parried that. Is the lock-on for the boss is actually really high. And so when it does swings or attacks or anything like that, the camera does some funky stuff. I am actively trying to parry this guy. It does not want me to. There he goes. Kind of a one-trick pony, ain't he? Unless there's another, like, phase to this. It was a Dark Defiance. You really have to get that parry timing close. Well, hopefully the gold that falls into the water still comes to me. That was actually weirdly easy. Like, the DLC boss kicked my ass because it had an unblockable attack. All the rest of these guys are just kind of like, alright, I can just kind of tank it. Random starting weapon, go from there. I only used one Estus, but I might as well use it again. This is actually a fair bit to this game in terms of, like, locations to go to. Nameless Wharf or Ashy Peaks Forge. This reminds me of, oh, that one region in Dark Souls 2 with the Hate Knights. The one with the old Demon Lord. They even move the same. There we go. Brain. I don't know, there's a lot of, like, minor criticisms I can bring up here. I think it's still charming. I think it's very much like a solid budget Souls-like roguelike for people that really like Dead Cells or Dark Souls 1. And I think that actually provides, like, a lot of value to some people. It also seems like reasonably easy to get into and get through. And I'm not sure about the DLC level chain and boss and whatnot. Getting through that might be trickier. Whoop. They blend in a little bit. Someday I will parry these guys. Let's see. What was I going to say? The Dead Cells. God, there's so many things that I've kind of dropped because I get into combat and my brain breaks. Brass Knuckles again. Yeah, the Dead Cells. The Dead Cells comparisons, the stats, I was going to say, like, there's a very real possibility I'm just not going to unlock certain blueprints because I know they're going to be bad, or they're not going to be good enough. I think that's always a risk with these. And so, yeah, being able to potentially cull the drop pool, or, like, drop tables. Don't need that. Could be kind of handy. I think the problem is, like, so much of this is also hard-locked. The game's already out and has been out for a little while. As far as I can tell, in 1.0 without any major changes pending. So I wouldn't really expect any of my, like, criticisms to land. They're just intrinsic to the game. I think it's mostly just a, like, in case somebody else makes one of these. Because I think for what this is, it's fine. You know, I'm having a good time just wandering around and fighting stuff. But it also does kind of run into this when will it end mentality where, like, it's getting a little harder, but not massively so. Yeah, I might as well boost my damage. But, like, the stat scaling on those shrines is petering out. You know, originally it was a 40%, and now it's gone down to a 10%. And so, like, the more shrines I find at this point, the less excited I am to find them. It's like, okay, what's next? 5%? 1%? You know, after a certain point, don't care. Same thing with, like, these random pieces of equipment. I'm not going to use it. I don't care anymore. Okay, so there's a crossbow guy and a... That really doesn't have the reach I was hoping for. But that's okay. But yeah, I don't care about all these extra pieces of equipment dropping for me. Because what am I going to use them for? At least in Dead Cells you can recycle them. Yeah, you could turn them into currency if I remember right. I could remember wrong, actually. It's entirely possible, but either way, it's one of those where it's like, here a lot of the reward mechanisms are inherently designed to be kind of underwhelming. And I think that holds the game back at least a little bit in terms of its fun factor. Because, you know, compared this in the beginning of this video to a game called Curse Mart, where you were applying runes to your abilities and they could do really fun things like cascade effects and crazy combos and like elemental damage and status effects, and then scale off of that status effects. And you also were getting like random, well, not random, passive effects. Do we actually want to try this? Is a small damage loss for an amount of speed, which could be handy. I'll give it a shot. I do like that shield. Question is, did the archer guy come around the corner for me? Nope. Okay, let's leave him for the moment. Let's go after this dude. Ow. Yeah, that speed is too good. The damage isn't that bad at all. And so, I'm trying to think of a good example of this. But like if in Binding of Isaac, after a certain point, all of your upgrades... Well, actually, okay. I don't know how many of you have played Binding of Isaac, but in Binding of Isaac, they have a bunch of different stats that you can upgrade. Some are a lot better than others. Damage, fire rate, both of those are incredibly good. Shot speed and range are useful to a point, but after you reach that point, they stop being at all relevant. You know, once you can hit across the room, what's the point of range? And so any further upgrades are kind of eh. They don't make a difference. They don't improve the experience. I don't know if the piles of rocks give anything. And so what Binding of Isaac has is, you know, just such a massive pool that you're usually not getting too many of anything. Oh, and we're done. Could there be more stat points that I could invest into? Maybe. But I don't know how much it matters. Okay. Then we get a boss fight. And so here it kind of feels like I'm just, after a certain point, only getting range upgrades. You know, it's like very small upgrades that could be kind of handy. Okay, this could be tricky. Could be. He's got a really solid wind-up. I'm gonna just Estus here. Okay, because yeah, we want to take out the Alchemist. Ow. Yeah, it's when it has the multi-hit combo. That's when things get tricky. I've almost killed him. Let's just wait for my stamina to come back. Okay. Then it's just the primate. You know, you could just leave, dude. Ow. Yeah, it's that 3-hit combo that's real tricky. Because he has one where he does like a big slam like that. Okay, maybe he just doesn't have the big opening anymore. Okay. Not that it's really much of a problem. I still got 2 Estus left. It actually kind of feels like this guy's been overtuned to counter people who dodge. Because, yeah, a lot of his attacks have kind of some, like, big spins and twists, but he was kind of overshooting with a number of them. Yeah, I can see why Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring and Bloodborne got rid of blocking. It is kind of upsettingly strong. Alright, what do we get next? I don't know, let's do the Cultist Garments. Not that I care deeply about any of those. And we're definitely not going to use that, not right now. Okay, Tyrant's Castle. Looks like this is possibly the end? Or the final zone? Well, the ambiance is great. Hey, look! It's all the goons. You know it's a good boss when they have framed photographs of all of their, you know, all of their employees. The problem is, it is the same employees. Is there a third one? No. Okay. Which direction do I want to go? Well, that's progresses, so this is a dead end. It's a dead end, but it also doesn't have anything in it. There we go. That guy hurts. And near as far as I can tell, there's just a couple of barrels in here. Oh. Does not open from this side. Okay, so there might be some things going on. So I'd question the does not open from this side is like, why would I backtrack? Oh. Or is this the way I came from? No, there's a guy there. There's just this guy. Nothing else. Alright. I want to play more games where the villain is, like, actually just a good dude. Just diametrically opposed to whatever the protagonists are up to. How often do you actually have stories like that? At least in video games, where, like, from the opposite perspective, the villain is just as correct. Come on, dude. Don't know what happened to my inputs there, but that's okay. Iron Claws. Ooh. Be Zhang He. This is Zhang He? I forget. Whoever the guy is from, the pretty boy from Dynasty Warriors. That is like super villain coded, but also hot. Which is villain coded. Anyway. I'm actually scratching my brain on this one for the like... No, actually, the, like, antagonist, the villain of the story is, like, not completely justified. I think that can be kind of tricky. But, like, their opinion and their position is completely valid. Seems like it might actually just cap out at a 10%. Maybe that's it. Come on, Butcher. still had his fish in his hand. I kind of wish if you killed him while he still had the fish, he would drop the fish and then you could eat the fish. Because that'd be kind of fun. Let's see. You know, I'm going to be hung up on this whole, like, the villain is actually just, not justified thing, but just, like, not a bad guy. You can even have it that, you know, they like their minions and treat them well. Like their people treat them well. Like, I've always wanted that angle from, like, a Zelda game. What the hell? Oh, it's a dog. Okay, for a second I thought it was a dude running on all fours. I don't know why he had the blueprint for a loyalist robe, but okay. Like, I've always wanted this from a Zelda game, where, like, Hyrule actually shot first, and, like, did something bad to the Gerudo, and so, Ganon is, like, actually righteously angry, and Link has to, like, deal with the fact of, like, oh, I'm not necessarily the good guy in this situation, I'm just, enforcing peace because I have to. Let's see. But I also recognize that that's, like, way too much of an ethical dilemma for a Zelda game, and would be tricky. Because, yeah, I'm trying to think, like, have any of the Final Fantasy villains ever been even remotely close to justified? No? Yeah, no, none of the Final Fantasy-like antagonists have ever been even remotely close to morally justifiable. They've all been jerks. Trying to think of other, like, big ones. Xenoblade. No? Well, kind of. Kind of yes, kind of no. Xenoblade 1, like, one of the primary antagonists early on is kind of correct. But in a kind of dumb way. Effectively, the humans had not even the humans, the human god had been the aggressor. Well, let's just keep raising this by 10%. And 10% is still bonus, just not much. I'm just taking damage left and right here. I should heal. Bronze Trident. But even then, it did kind of mean that that antagonist ends up being good later on. And also kind of confusing in its own way. Because it's just like, why were you doing? You could have just done any other series of events and avoided all of these problems. But, oh well. Yes, I don't know what the deal is with that random door. Must mean there's more secrets in this game. And then Xenoblade 2, no. No one was justified there. Probably go for the flask charges, frankly. Like, just having a ton of healing items really does let you face tank through a tremendous amount of this game. We still don't know about expeditions. Whatever they're for, no clue. Anyway, time to go fight Dracula. Okay, maybe not Dracula. Are you kidding me? It's just me, but faster, and hard to see. Nice part is, I know my own tells. Got any more of that? Of course, is the Tyrant. Okay. So this is going to be one of those where he's got a really quick swing. On that one, at least. Yeah, this is why I want that Punisher shield. Probably should have invested in it earlier. I really appreciate the fact that the parry has a sound effect. Makes my life easy. I also really appreciate you can parry the boss. Please don't. Oh, come on. I hate multi-phase boss fights. Ow. Time for a heal. It's my last heal, though. Yeah, I don't have enough juice for that. Yeah, you must not be able to parry. Ow. Must not be able to parry. Magic, which is slightly unfortunate. Really wish you could get him to hit himself with that. Okay, wait for my juice to come back. Okay, you can also knock him out of it. Got him. Oh, I was close. I thought we got him because, like, the screen had shook in a weird way. That is down to the freaking wire. Of course he's gonna... No? He doesn't get back up again. Well, that was fun. With a devastating blow, the Tyrant fell to the ground. As the storm still rained, the hero walked out of the observatory and set his sights to a nearby village. Suddenly the hero felt a cold chill and his arms began to feel weak and numb. Unbeknownst to the hero, the Tyrant was in possession of the Eternity Gem. With its dark magic, the Tyrant twisted time and space in his favor. The hero quickly found himself back in the cell he had been rotting away in. Darker and sinister figures now roamed the world, and the hero knew the battle was far from over. Yeah, so we just beat the first. We got the first ending. You probably have to boss sell this like 3 or 4 times. Honestly, not bad. I'm a little disappointed you can't parry magic because, like, what's the point of a parry system if you take it away after a certain point, right? Either that or it's just much harder. I don't know. Either way, and I don't even get gold. Oh, but I do get this. But this is probably just the difficulty modifier. Yeah. So, half enemies will be elites. Defeat elites to find the key. Unlock difficulty 3. Yeah. Flask is every other merchant. To be honest, kind of lose interest in those. So, my big problem mostly boils down to doing that, but it's harder now, doesn't excite me that deeply. I love the gear and equipment system. I like those. I wish there was a more interesting ability and passive system to go along with it all. The fact that you have to rely entirely on, like, the one activated ability from your armor, and maybe, well, yeah, actually it's only your gear will have an ability and very few of them have anything interesting. Like the poison, okay, that could be good. Or the extra stamina regen, that could also be good. But a lot of the other stuff just ends up feeling kind of ho-hum. And so it's one of those where it's like, I really enjoy where this is, but I wish it had more juice for me to, like, enjoy. Because as it stands, it's just go do that again, but it's harder now. It's like, I think I've seen enough. I think I'll stop here. But I enjoyed it, and very much, like, if you like Souls-likes or Dead Cells, I think this one's worth looking into. It's definitely like a short jaunt, rather than like something to really, really sink your teeth into. But on the flip side, that could be fun too. Anyway, I guess with all that said, let's go out to the main menu. It's not like we need to say anything. Oh, there was a map there. Huh. But yeah, Tyrant's Realm was available on Steam, and I think it's like only $10. The DLC is an additional 5, but it just adds another zone or 2 that I can go to that might have like extra loot, equipment, and items to find. But you can easily play without it and still have a good time with it. So yeah, it's a nice, cheap jaunt, cheap little Souls-like. And that very much makes it valid, especially because, once again, not a whole lot exactly in this overlap of niches, and I would love to see more. Honestly, I'd love to see a follow-up to this game that really goes deeper into build crafting or something. I think that would really, really make me interested in coming back for more. But for now, at least, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like. It helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe, because I got tons to check out and show off. But for now, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.